We are right in the middle of Gamescom. We're going to be talking about some of the stories that have dropped already, as well as looking forward to some of the announcements that may come. We're going to be talking a little bit about how there's not going to be any more Mass Effect Andromeda single-player updates. Oh, everyone's so sad. Also, Nate and I went on a PUBG adventure, and we're going to talk all about that right now.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inventory Full, your source for gamer culture and just a bunch of silly people talking about video games. Today's a memorial episode for the Mass Effect franchise. Maybe someday it'll come back. Maybe not. Maybe it'll pull Death and Return of Superman. Wait, spoilers for Justice League. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm one of your hosts, it's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica, joined by Nate Miller.
What's going on, guys? Nate Miller here. You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate.
We got Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hey everybody, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles.
And he's P to the D's, Patrick Dees.
What up, nerds? I'm picking up Nate's What Up, Nerds. I'm running with that.
I forgot. I put it down.
Yeah,
grabbed
I'm picking it up right where you put it down.
Yeah,
Find me P to the D's. What's up, guys?
Whoa. So there's a lot of things to talk about because we're in the middle of an announcement period.
Yeah.
Gamescom is always a little bit interesting when it comes to announcements.
Yeah.
It always seems to be like when they're leading up to E3, and this is more on the companies, not about Gamescom itself, but more of a, hey, what are our biggest announcements? What's the chuffa that we can cut from this thing? I'll put it at Gamescom. What can wait? What can wait? Oh, put it at Gamescom.
What can wait? And then didn't see E3. Here's this again.
One more time for
We're on another continent. Check this stuff out. You guys are European.
We got a new sizzle from Assassin's Creed.
We did.
Which looks cool.
CG trailer.
Cool. But before we get a little bit more into Gamescom, what have y'all been playing? Last week we gave a big I'm gonna play this and that and this and that.
We did.
So
Stacey, you're so pensive.
Guys.
So Stacey, you were gonna play Wolfenstein.
I know. She had this huge list.
Right, yeah. So I've actually been playing this game called Frantic Science Teacher, trying to move an entire science lab into her new classroom.
Okay, that's that.
Crazy.
Back to school.
So that's been a fun week. But
Are you
no,
streaming that?
I should. It's just a lot of boxes and me carrying them places. It's amazing. It's a really realistic sim.
It's exactly how I imagined
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Then
boxes and moving.
when they ask what game you're playing, just say Science Teacher Simulator. People go, Steam, I'm gonna put that on my wish list.
The graphics are insane.
Selling copies already. Here
Bam,
I
bam,
go. No, I did get to play some Wolfenstein.
You did?
I did. I played a little bit more.
Okay.
A little bit more. Let me stress that.
Fair enough.
And of course, I played some Overwatch, but that's all I got to this week.
You gotta chip away at it.
Yeah.
Overwatch, what's that?
Who knows?
It's a mystery still at this point.
Yep.
Patrick, you get a chance to play anything?
I did. I played some Hellblade. I'm very close to the end. I'll just say. So first of all, they say it's like 7 hours. So for Stacey and I, this game is like a 2-year game.
Oh boy.
This is like to see it's really not. Maybe 10 at most, but I felt like you to so many degrees. I'm gonna circle back just in case I missed anything, and I would do this big lap around. And she doesn't move very fast, and I'll come back around, and I'm so it's taking me way longer. And I think this game is mentally stressing in a way that I don't know that I've ever experienced in a game before.
Really?
I think that the voices that are constantly yelling at each other and yelling at you, they take a toll on me faster than almost any game that I've ever played before. And I'll say this because we keep it real on the show. There is a moment later in this game that moved me to tears. I cried like a child. I was just say, there's a point where I was ready to put this down just because it is unmitigated despair, and it deals with I've never been clinically depressed, but I can imagine, and obviously a lot of what she's dealing with is depression and psychosis, and a lot of these things that are that obviously this culture didn't really understand, right? So they called it the darkness and cast her out, and the gods just didn't approve of her, and there's all these really dark, fucked up themes that are going on in her life. And there's this moment, a slight moment, and I won't wreck it, of reprieve, and it just hit me at this moment. It was late, and I just wept for her because she could just breathe for a minute. And I don't know where this game's gonna end, and I can't tell you about if it's got a satisfying conclusion, but I can tell you that it's dealing with some things that have hit me in a way that I just did not expect. And I cried in a way that I don't know that I have at a television show or maybe ever at a film. It was incredibly powerful. So at least to this point, I would say gird your loins, be strong. If you're ready for this, it is it's dealing with some really fucked up stuff. But I will say what Ninja Theory's created is, without question, it is an example of art in this medium. It's really incredible.
Yeah, I've read a few articles about how people are describing it as art.
It is.
It's just a really great translation of the message they're trying to say.
And you can tell that they really took great care with these themes. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like hey, that sounds like a cool topic, right? And that'll make for a good gameplay mechanic. I think they really wanted to explore what it's like to deal with quote unquote demons, right? And have voices in your head and have just this oppressive force around you. Anyway, so it's one of those games that I can't marathon. I can chip away at 45 minutes at a time, and even then, I go to bed and I'm wound, and I'm like, it's not. So even then, I have to wind down a little bit. So I'm very slowly kind of chipping away. I think I'm close to the end, but man, woo! I need a palate cleanser, which I've got ready to go. I've got Uncharted Lost Legacy downloaded.
I thought you were gonna say Dream Daddy.
Ready to play when I get home from this experience. It goes live at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's preloaded, ready to rock. I was one of those, I bought the season pass, so I got it for $20. It just included in the season pass as opposed to buying it for 40, so it'll be a good palate cleanser. So
I would hope so. Fun adventure.
yes.
A little bit more than Psychosis.
Just shoot some fools. So I dealt with a very serious experience. I understand you guys were up to some shenanigans.
Before we get to PUBG,
Okay.
Oh.
I've got a screenshot that I want to share with our folks, and shout out to our audio listeners.
All right.
So my wife and I started playing Dream Daddy. We weren't planning on recording it. We weren't planning on streaming it. But we got to a point where we were having so much fun, and we went, screw it, let's start recording.
Yes.
And this is our dad, Teddy Bayer.
Okay.
We saw the mustache, and I went, we're making Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes.
We're making Teddy
Yes.
Roosevelt. So,
He's handsome.
yeah, he's a good looking dude. So if you want to see the adventures of Teddy Bayer with my wife and I, head on over to my Twitch account, which is twitch.tv/soapboxmark.
Do you choose the fashion sense? Like, did you put him in that outfit?
Well, you choose, like, the head is
Okay.
like eyes, eyebrows, hair, mustache,
Got
5
it.
o'clock shadow. But for clothing, it's just a template. So it's like you can pick a T-shirt or a suit, like a couple of suits,
Because it's a
couple of
bold
T-shirts.
choice with that print and that jacket. I like it.
He's adventurous because it's Teddy Roosevelt. I was like, oh, it reflects of some of the places where he has adventured,
totally.
being the former president of the United States.
I see that guy on a plane. I want to talk to him.
Right?
Yes.
But
Wait, what?
Got one suitor.
Did you just... These-
Made so confused.
But later in the week, decided it was finally time to give a Player Unknown's Battlegrounds a little bit of a whirl.
Okay.
So Nate was a very gracious host.
A Sherpa, if you will.
Oh my God, he
The
was
face says it all.
top right. There you go.
Sherpa.
So I taped the first match.
Okay.
Unfortunately, none of the audio captured, but this is sort of the last
me through
moments of the round.
Okay, talk me through it.
Well, the first, and you can see how terrible my system is, but I found out I needed a video card in playing this game. But I kept, when we were going to new areas, following the circle into its final destination, and just grabbing stuff, I kept going, well, this is super tense. And they're like, oh, just wait. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just because it's quiet. You don't know if people are right around the corner. You're keeping an eye out for open doors.
Yeah.
At this point, there's 17 people left.
Yes.
Okay,
in
I
top
see
right
top
hand
right.
corner. 17 people. I was like, I
So
can't.
let me
This is
do-
your game one?
Game one.
Let me
All
do
right,
the-
top
Dude,
20.
not bad,
Hey,
dude.
Let me do the
Yeah.
setup.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
well, our plan was to, take it easy on him to begin with because, he's not going to be great at combat. That was me.
It's like, hey, let's get out of the car.
Yeah, we didn't quite fully stop yet.
Overrated.
So our plan was just to kind of land outside on the island, and we found a small spot. I think we got into a little combat early.
No, none.
That game we didn't see anybody. Okay,
No.
so we just looted and made our way across the island, found a vehicle. Basically, spent the whole time just driving
Stuck in the
through.
stairs.
Right.
I guess
That is the real
this is-
worst enemy.
Yes,
That is
and
the
that's-
player unknown.
And that's what you're waiting for for the competitive.
Yes.
That's in the
Yes.
clutch moment.
Cannot wait.
Someone gonna
Yeah, so it gets really tense here. So what he's talking about is, we're going to building, and there could be people there, but from how far we were and where the plane was,
Yep.
we were pretty safe. But at this point, we've made it across to what is the military island.
Yeah.
And then there's a group of 3 of you.
Right. So
Okay.
there's 3 of us. It's me, my friend Harvey, and Mark.
Okay.
I think that's me on the left.
That's I stuck to you most of the time.
Yeah. and Harvey was inside. So at this point, the circle is basically surrounded us, and we're almost in the middle.
Okay.
And it's just changed. So now we know that we're dead kind of in the middle. So everyone is moving in from around us, from other sides of the circle, trying to get to safety. And at this point, you're trying to survive and spot where people are, so you can
Stay
kind
away
of
from
move
open windows.
safely.
So we're down to 15.
Yeah. And
Okay, we're ticking down.
And of course, we left the door
So-
open.
so that red smoke that you see in the distance
Yes.
is a supply crate that dropped, which is another important thing because it draws players to it. It drops special things that will only drop from the crate. So certain weapons, also level 3 armor and helmet and things of that nature.
And I got shot while going through my menu because
Yeah.
I was in front of an open door like an idiot.
He got popped from behind. So this is me picking him up.
But it was from behind. It was up the stairwell.
No,
You guys
there's
didn't
a
know that.
window
There's
behind
yeah,
got it,
there's
got
a
it, got
door
it.
behind him
Okay.
that he got shot behind from.
And now this is me trying
So
to
now
figure
he's
out how
medding
to...
up.
No, this is me trying to med up because I didn't realize I still had an Xbox 360 controller plugged in.
Oh, that's right.
So it wasn't like all of the button prompts were for the controller.
No.
Yikes.
So I'm just like, okay,
And that's
I'm
me getting shot in the window.
And it's like, no, just hang out, just do something.
This is the one where we bust out,
14.
right? And we go
No.
over the wall.
No.
And
No,
okay.
we die here.
Oh, we just.
This is the end.
You are watching.
Like I'm like trying to drag it
funeral.
over, trying to look
just,
for a
it's
thing.
one of those things like because the map is the same and you just play game after game after
Yeah.
game and it just
They bleed together a
Yeah, I
little bit.
mean you start to see different parts
Yeah, we
of the map
played
and you're like,
4
oh,
games.
I died
Yeah.
here, a few
Including
times.
one game where we landed on top
No,
of this.
yeah,
oh,
this
no,
is
okay,
one.
we didn't make
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so,
right.
So the circle's moving behind us, so we have to push up. There's a group,
Okay.
and you see I just dipped over and
Yep.
yeah, there was
like,
people down
whatever.
there.
No, like right at that moment, it's like, wait,
Right.
don't come down here, I got shot.
Yes, as soon as I jumped over the crest, I'm thinking, cool, we got safety from anybody behind us.
12.
And there was 3 guys down there
Who were
that just
taking the
lit
same
me
thing.
up
But
right
then he's
away.
like, does anybody have a grenade? I went, I got it shot.
Oh.
As soon as he peeked
And
up.
we got 6 out of 26.
I will say, not
I
You
mean,
know? Yeah.
I made sure to be an a-hole and make my name Mark of Excellence.
Oh,
and just
so
be
good.
terrible.
Oh, but that's so good.
He just needs
Oh,
some
but
more
that's
time.
so good.
He just
Yeah,
needs some
dude.
more time. But it's funny because it's just a perfect example of how we got really good loot that round.
We did.
Didn't kill anybody.
Nope.
I
Nope.
think Harvey got one person far away. Maybe we knocked
I think
someone.
I think
but
down somebody.
We ran, we survived. We made it to top 10, and then I jumped over a cliff and
And
ran
died.
into 3 dudes immediately.
Don't come! Don't follow! So yeah, I definitely want to play more. It's quite a rush getting as the numbers dwindle down. Just be like, we're heading to the belly of the beast. This is going to be absolutely awful or amazing. And now that the next couple of games I had a little bit, I started to learn and having a little bit more fun. I can definitely understand how it sold 8 million units.
Yep.
And why it's coming to Xbox as a quote exclusive.
They're publishing it. What was the Gamescom announcement? Like
That-
they are way. So it's a deeper relationship than I had thought. So anyway, I don't know what they. I don't know if they. specifically-
Microsoft is helping to develop the game.
I mean, so
Yeah. So Microsoft Studios is helping polish up and finish up so that they can hit their 2018 release. And then they said before the end of 2017, it's going to hit Xbox One X or just Xbox One, whichever one you get.
great.
Yeah.
Which I'm playing on the X. Pre-ordered it.
I'm just hoping for some crossplay.
Yes, I hope so too. Speaking of
How is that going to
crossplay,
be a
Yep.
thing though? With playing with a controller against a mouse and
People
keyboard, I get why
play-
you would want that. I'm not understand.
True.
I'm good.
Some
Stick with
people
it.
play with controller, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
some
especially if
people
you're playing,
die in the first few minutes.
if you're playing the third person, I can see how you could get away with a controller because you're like the amount of time that's spent actually for a person
Yeah, fair
shooting
enough.
is very, very minute.
Yeah.
But
And
then-
as long as you can get a hang of it, you're
for me, it's the looting. For me, it's the all right. You gotta put the reticle over the specific thing, and with the controller, they make that a little bit easier because of the movement.
Right.
And even if they like split the difference there and made it so it's like okay, general vicinity. Okay, no, I don't want more ammo. I want that energy drink. No, switch
Well, you
things.
also
Your bag
just-
is full. Okay.
It's also like almost like a muscle memory thing you get into also of like as you play the game more, you get to know like you'll just spot things when you look
Yeah.
into a room.
Right.
And you don't have to look down at the ground. You just have to be over it and hit tab. So you know it's there. Go over it, hit tab. Again, you start to know the order of things that are going to be in. Meds are going to be at the top, and then it's alphabetical, and then the different ammos are. So you'll get quicker at looting, and that especially helps you when you're looting a dead body that you just killed at the end of the circle and you need ammo,
Yep.
and you have to do the PUBG dance as you loot, where you don't stand still because otherwise someone's just gonna shoot you in the head. When you're like, oh, I killed him! I'm safe! Does he have any meds? Stop! Loot! Headshot. You have been killed. And
But
then around
speaking of crossplay, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about, in the Xbox conference at Gamescom, it was announced that Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
highly anticipated pirate
Sure.
action adventure game, is going to be crossplay. So we'll be able to play. So we will be able to play as a team, because I know not everybody has an Xbox. Some people
Right.
have PCs, some people have Xbox. So we'll be able to form the inventory full crew and go sailing across the sea.
I will play this game with you guys.
See, yeah, that brings me back in, knowing that we can all play together no matter which
Right.
console or PC we choose it for. So that's great.
But did it
news.
surprise anybody here? Like, I'm sorry, this was a non-announcement, right? Like, I was
That's
so...
what all of Microsoft's press
I know, I mean,
conference
I
was.
agree, but I'm like, okay, great, awesome, and moving on. But I like, it's the only way that would get me to play it is if you three are playing at one point. I'd be like, all right,
Because
cool.
that's what ultimately made when we played Deathmatch, and we talked about that last week.
Yeah,
That made
yeah.
that survivable and playing PUBG with
Right.
Nate instead of
Right,
by myself. That made that livable and survivable and fun. So
Yeah.
being able to have the connections, being able to break down the walls, and Microsoft never thought it would be Microsoft is doing more to make sure that everybody can play together no matter what console you have.
Yeah.
But this is crossplay, PC and
Right.
Xbox.
And
Yes.
Xbox.
Right.
Yep.
Because it
Their
was an Xbox
Windows.
exclusive first.
Right. I mean, it's hardly crossplay.
No, it's
No,
not
but I
a
mean
first.
in terms of Rocket League before this, Minecraft before
Right.
this. Microsoft
But I
has
mean,
the
but-
money to be able to bring all of these
But
servers together.
Rocket League and Minecraft are true crossplay. Whereas,
Except for Sony,
well, is the PlayStation?
it's not connected.
It's
Nope.
I've played
Because of-
PC people.
Right, you
but
can play-
can't play
you can
Xbox
play-
you can play
people.
PC, but you can't play Xbox.
PS4, PC,
Oh, right,
and
okay.
Xbox PC, but
Yes.
Not the two
none of this
together.
cross
No
console.
crossover there.
And that's Sony.
Yeah, I mean, that's
you
not
have the
gonna
market
happen.
imperative
That's both
not
of
to
them.
do that if you're PlayStation, right? Like, there's zero incentive for them to do it, like
Yeah.
at all. I'm not surprised, and I don't think that changes at least this console generation.
Yeah.
Brr. It's so excited for this game, and I think they're still signing their alpha signups still.
I don't know.
Either way, go check it out on the website. I know I signed up. I don't know if I tried on PC or Xbox first. Probably Xbox, just because that's a more stable system. Either way, excited for more Sea of Thieves.
You are.
Huh?
You are.
I am.
Awesome.
Dude, no, Rare.
I know.
Rare is so good
I
at
agree.
creating unique worlds, and this seems to be more of what the Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This is the hole that they left that is not going to be filled by Skull and Bones.
Nope.
Skull and Bones is going to be, oh, you guys like the naval stuff, right?
I know.
I mean, we kind of did.
I mean,
But this is
I
like
liked it a lot. I liked
Well, no,
it a
it's
lot.
good.
I did
Please
too.
Give me more.
can it hold
Thanks.
a game?
Well,
I don't
good.
know.
Just
Skull
for
and
the
Bones.
record.
But in
Right.
terms of the other swashbuckle pirate shanties, all
Right.
of that type of stuff, we now have Sea of Thieves.
I'm rooting for this to be successful.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yep.
why it's just always falling flat. I'm just like, all right.
This definitely shouts games as a service to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the ones where it's like, yeah, this could be around. If it's successful, it could be around for years to come.
But I'm open to it. Like, I
Yeah.
genuinely want to jump in there. Like, I'm not going to write this off until I've had hands on with it. But
Yeah.
like, no part of this, not the
I know what
aesthetic,
you
not
mean.
anything
There's
else.
yeah.
None of it screams like, dude, you gotta play this game. And so I don't know who who their
Don't know who it's
their
for?
audience. I don't.
Yeah, and for me, the main appeal is being able to play with people. If I didn't have anyone to play with, I would have very little interest.
I can see that.
In this
Okay.
game.
You could play with Mark of Excellence.
I sure
hear
can.
he's pretty good at pirate games.
He's a pretty good guy. Let's move on to Patrick. I think you'd want to talk about this a little bit.
I?
So it was confirmed
Do I?
that Mass Effect Andromeda is not going to receive any single-player updates, and there is no more content planned.
So they just took it old Yeller style. They took it behind the shed, just put it down. Yeah.
This was like the original ending of Mass Effect 3. Nobody liked it. That was dumb.
I really, I think that the Mass Effect 3 ending debacle put this whole industry in a bad course. Like, because imagine if you're a real talent and you're a writer and you write this ending, and then like EA buckles and says, hey, they're gonna let their audience dictate how they want their shit to end. Like, if you write a movie, it's not like a studio is gonna be like, oh, we sorry, we released it and they didn't like how that ended, so we're gonna. I don't. That's rough.
Star Wars Special Edition.
Mm.
Anyway.
Yeah, this game was a dumpster fire. It was an unmitigated nightmare, and it bums me out. But I'm really, focus your resources elsewhere. Like, and it sucks because too there is there is a lineage of unbelievable DLC, and not for Mass Effect, but I mean in the history of DLC, Mass Effect DLC ranks among the highest. They have incredible stuff, right? Shadow Broker, Leviathan, Citadel. I mean, some amazing self-contained stories. And so for me, I was really hoping there'd be a kernel of redemption here, but I played 80 hours of this waiting for that kernel of redemption. I'm glad I didn't waste more
80
on a
hours for a
DLC.
kernel?
Dog, you really have to love something.
Like, not
just
even a
pray,
nugget, a
just
kernel.
Just to pray that there was a moment right around the corner. There is one mission that like drips of a little bit of Mass Effect, and you deal with some of the kind of themes that you would in the earlier ones. But man, this game just is rough, just start to finish, man. It's tough. It's tough, and it's bummer too because it looks like something you love. It sounds like the music's incredible, and all of that's just kind of mocking you the whole time when they constantly say stupid shit.
Hey,
and
you
it's
remember
so
that
broken.
good stuff?
Yes.
Not gonna find it here.
No, nope. In fact, this scene right here, this is one of my favorite scenes in my game. The first time I played it, you see how she's leaning sideways?
Yeah.
She leaned sideways and she slid all the way off the screen in that leaning sideways pose. And she just kept talking. And then when that popped up, when she's pointing the gun at you, she was still off in the corner, so I didn't see what she was doing. That was an empty frame because she literally just went like all of this like crazy moment. That game's so broken. I don't.
It's got
It
character.
hurts me, man. Just I don't know. But I'm glad they put it down. Let's move on to other things. Let's play some Anthem.
Rip in
when you're
peace.
ready. Yes.
Whenever that comes out.
Right.
All right, let's go to a different part of space. This is another short trailer that I am super excited for. Star Wars Battlefront confirmed that we're finally going to be returning to space when it comes to it should be. I think it's the top one, the top middle one. Battlefront. Dang it, my bad. Anyway,
Are you guys like old school like space sim fans? Did you play like X-Wing TIE Fighter?
I played X-Wing TIE Fighter.
Damn right.
Yeah, and I played. There was a similar one for PlayStation 1 as well that I played. That was like
Rogue
Star
Squadron,
Wars."
maybe?
Not that one.
Okay.
But it was like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, but it might have been just a port.
Okay.
But that's the one I played the most. And
Wing Commander.
Yeah, man.
Commander.
Telling me.
And-
Mark
and-
Hamill, man.
keeping it in realm. If I ever went back to play the first Battlefront, the first recent Battlefront, it would be to play the air combat stuff.
It's that good?
That was so much fun.
Is it really? Oh, man, I missed it. I just totally.
Don't miss this. And
I won't. It looks awesome. I can't wait till we see this trailer whenever it pops back up.
Don't worry about it. It's a minute.
I genuinely, man, like they
go
keep
check it out.
cramming this game with so much value. It's like they're throwing the Star Wars kitchen sink at this game. They're like, you want it, we got it. You want
They
it,
have a
we
lot
got it.
of making up to do.
I agree.
Because they already had a lot to live up to because the original Battlefront games are really good.
I agree.
And they really dropped the ball with the new one. The expectations were so high, and they've had all the resources to make it.
And it's a beautiful game.
Stunning.
It plays like butter. It's just there's not a lot.
Yeah,
that's the main issue.
It's like
baby's first shooter.
It's
But
like
with,
it's
with
like an arcade
this, you're
game.
seeing Y rings. I think I saw Naboo Cruiser in there.
Yeah, there's
like
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
A-wings, Y bombers.
I'm not surprised that we're gonna get a lot more space combat because
Over
with
Ryloth?
the teaser that they showed in E3, like the combat just over the city looked great.
I totally
So they've
agree.
been working on
and
it.
it played real good.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense for them to fully invest in, full what I want to know is, are we going to get like space combat that also has ground combat with like
space
ships?
You mean you
or
could land
something?
and get out and
something of that nature.
I think they would,
I don't know.
because of how full this one is. They'll wait till 3
Some
for
kind of
that one.
expansion
if
maybe or
that.
something.
Yeah.
or 3.
Because something that I've noticed, it's not everybody's doing it, but it seems like a lot of studios are, hey, here's the first game, it's blue sky idea, it's proof of concept.
Right.
And then that sells amazing because it looks so good and it's just good enough to sell that great.
Yep.
And then the second one is, oh, we're sorry, here are all of the features that you said were missing.
Yeah, sure.
When ultimately it's like, oh, the studio would probably planned that instead of a big DLC to add all that other stuff.
Right.
The second iteration is the full game that they were planning when they first decided to design. I haven't seen it in a lot of places. I see it in Battlefront. There was one year when the first year that WWE 2K was WWE 2K, they reset everything and essentially they just had wrestlers and match types and that was it. They didn't have female wrestling.
Okay.
The creative modes were a fraction of what they had been from years previous, but the year after that, everything was where as it should have been.
Titanfall did it, right? Like I'm super excited about this game, and I think if for no other reason I'm like lit about the campaign.
Baby.
Baby, yes, so good.
Sorry.
Sorry about it. We should be thanking
Sorry
you.
about it being so lit, baby.
It's so lit.
Something that I found interesting is just because did anybody play Just Cause?
Yes.
Which Just Causes?
2 and 3.
3 was a nut show.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
made a new phrase.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy.
Did you just make up Nut Show?
Nut Show.
Can we put that on the inventory full Nut Show?
I got tickets to the Nut Show, and it's just a censor bar.
I'm worried about that. Yeah. Yeah. Look,
We need
that
a
doesn't look
disclaimer
right.
now.
Like I don't. It sounds like a freak show. It's a freak nut show. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of freak nut shows,
Yes.
the developers of Just Cause,
Yeah.
it was leaked, and then they got a chance to announce it. Biomutant. Let's take a look at this action RPG.
That's what you got out of this trailer.
Well, no, that's what they
I know.
that's what they pulled it. It's just a cinematic trailer, but it looks real pretty. You got a cyber cricket. So now
It's about time they're represented in games.
seriously.
They're way underrepresented.
The aesthetic kind of reminds me of what they did going back to Ninja Theory with Enslaved.
Yes, Journey to the West.
Enslaved, Odyssey of the West, where they took the nature bit of it and just added that little bit of technology. But this looks like a traveling Ronin with a grasshopper companion, getting in all sorts of skirmishes and adventures, and I can
He's
see
looking
stealth
for the rest
stuff.
of the Guardians, and he's running, and he's shooting.
But it's a cool, like, you know, people sort of poo-poo, oh, we got all these sequels, we got these remakes, we got this, that, with this. And when we get an opportunity to have a pretty original-looking idea
this
and
looks
an
dope.
original
This
IP,
looks dope.
Yeah.
I'm about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else that y'all are into?
They put no date on this, did they?
It was just an announcement. And
Great.
considering it's no gameplay, it's just a CG trailer.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm glad they got out ahead of it and started, and announced it. But yeah, it looks awesome. And yeah, I'm with you. I think we should support new IP.
And I think if anything, we'll probably get a date at E3 next year. But
These guys make great open worlds. You called it a nut show. Like again, that story was nearly non-existent, but that's not what that game was about. It was about blowing shit up. And I mean, before it was optimized and actually ran well on modern consoles. Still pretty impressive.
yeah, totally dig it. Now this story is just for me. This next story is just for me.
Oh, is it? Okay. Story time with Mark.
So the middle one, Microsoft announced that they've got a new Xbox One S. I bought mine way too early.
Did you?
Nate loves it. I just want to show it. It's a Minecraft Xbox.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Now, one thing I will say is
See how
they're
it's rated E?
They're
for
much
everyone?
better. They're much better at designing custom consoles and releasing custom consoles than Sony is, because Sony usually slaps a sticker on the side and calls it a day.
I know. They don't fuck around.
No, whereas Microsoft's like, yeah, we'll make it look like it's bleeding from Gears of War.
Yeah.
But they've got the redstone on the back.
Yes, they do.
And the front looks like the dirt block, and the controller is a creeper, and they're releasing a second controller that's a pig. It's so.
That's pretty cool.
It's
cool.
it's just like they're taking that Minecraft license
Yeah.
and they're pushing it. It also comes with the most updated version of Minecraft that they showed off at E3, which was the really pretty one,
Great.
with all of the graphics control and such. But it just
Look, console.
yeah, it's good looking. If I didn't have an S already, I would probably pick that up.
I should have gotten that Xbox One X.
Well, if they made an X out of it, I would
Oh,
be.
you're telling me that's an S. I'm sorry, I was just a shitty way to set that up. Like, were you guys surprised that this was an S? That they don't have an X version
No.
of this?
No. They're trying to get as many people to buy the S before the X so that they can make their money back on it.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like
a
how
nice
they-
option.
It's like how the Slims, how Sony keeps putting out slim
Yeah,
consoles,
totally.
even when they're trying to get that. I mean, if this isn't aimed at young kids,
Yep.
What now kids need an Xbox because it's a Minecraft Xbox.
It's just tough. It was a weird time to announce it when they finally have pre-orders up. Like, I know you can't conflate two Xbox One S SKUs, right? Because then there's like, it detracts from the message and like, but it's just, it's weird that there wasn't an X version, or it's weird timing, I guess. I don't know. It's a gorgeous box. I'm not taking away from it, but again, Microsoft manages to like have a new console release and then still kind of fuck it up.
I mean, if you're getting a Microsoft console,
Oh, here it
really
is.
need the X?
Here it is. Here comes the PC Master Race.
I'm just saying.
6.4 teraflops, man. I need them flops.
I need to flop.
I need the flop.
Yeah, we'll talk about that flop later.
Welcome to the Floppy Nut Show. I'm Patrick.
Oh, this is just good.
Wow.
It's getting, I know. Look, it's Mark's words, not
You
mine.
can't write this.
You're-
stuff.
I know.
You're
It just
building
writes
on it.
itself.
We don't.
No.
Don't worry.
Clearly.
I think I've got
If
a
I
new
was wearing
Twitter
cuffs,
handle.
if I was wearing cuffs, we would be off of them. Also a dumb joke.
That line is better than
I'm really
everything
upset
in season
that
1
I
of the
got
Defenders.
quiet till.
Wow.
This is not gonna be your platform for. Platform. We're not gonna do that.
So now I was talking to these fine folks sitting at the table with me, hi Nate, before the show about how last week we went a week without talking about PUBG, and
Yes.
this week I was like, okay, we're gonna talk about PUBG a bit. We're gonna go a week without talking about Overwatch.
Can't happen.
Nope.
Can't happen. Can't happen.
Surprise.
But this is their peak season. In a couple of weeks, we got a new character, a new mode. The summer games returned, and we got a new map and short with another short coming soon. Let's take a look at this map. It is a Junkertown.
Heck yeah.
Keep
it
the
is.
streak. Keep the
Keep
streak.
the streak.
Keep the streak.
And we've
Look at
also
this place.
yes, we've also this is the first new map with payload. Is that
Yes.
right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, this is the first new payload
Alright.
map since
Yes.
release.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
it takes place
Really
where
excited about it.
Junkrat and Roadhog
Roadhog.
call home.
Yep. Junkertown.
I mean, I'm just happy. It looks so cartoony.
Yeah, it looks
It
great.
does.
It looks like it's a lot of fun. The fact that it's a big treasure trove is got to have a Bruce reference if we're talking about Australia. Shout out to Monty Python. But the short attached to it is even more fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to
It
check
is
that out.
really
The animation's
fun.
great too.
Okay,
It
cool.
is.
I thought it was just sort of like it wasn't like a full short because it starts with one of Junkrat's regular lines that's just in the game. And I was like, oh, all right.
Just
Okay.
gonna recycle
Well,
a
that's a
couple of
fine how
lines.
do you do.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a
That's
silent
what I
thing,
expected at
but they're
first.
just going to use lines that are already recorded. But no, it ends up being a full thing, and seeing the silent comedy of Roadhog coming in with the overtness that is Junkrat. Oh, and the tag at the end.
When does it launch?
Soon?
Oh,
No.
okay. Perfect.
Coming soon.
all I
Yeah,
needed.
knowing
Uh,
their
that's all I needed.
schedule, it'll probably be on the beta sometime this week. I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Well,
Once they've announced
I think
it.
it's-
PTR updates are usually Tuesdays, so it might hit tomorrow. We'll see.
They usually put the announcements right after they launch, like soon.
Yeah, if
They're
they're
usually
announcing
pretty
it,
fast.
it's going to
But
fast.
do
Yeah.
you think that this would take away anything from the last week of Summer Games?
No.
Not particularly. They've been putting up a bunch of new stuff on the PTR. They're constantly, updating there. They've got deathmatch on there around, right when the summer games are rolled
Yeah,
through, and that
true.
hasn't
That still
really
hasn't gone to
affected
live.
anything. No, it has not.
Yeah, and the maps, just because the map hits the PTR doesn't mean it's going to go to live. Too.
Sure,
They're
sure,
gonna
sure.
Test it for a while. I'm
They're
sure.
they're testing a lot on PTR. Junkrat's Double Mine has been on there for a couple of weeks now. That hasn't gone live. I mean, much smaller than a whole map, but
I didn't know they were testing the double mine on PTR.
they
That explains a
are
lot.
testing the Double
Yeah.
Mine on
That explains
PTR.
why I was like, why am I throwing two mines all of a
Yes.
sudden? It helped a lot.
That's why.
Short cooldown. Yeah, I really like seeing more of their kind of backstory and lore because they're very underrepresented at least in like the lore and stuff that we've seen in
Sure.
Overwatch. So it's nice to get a little bit more of their background and like where they come from. And I love Mad Max post-apocalyptic
Yeah.
stuff too.
Heck
So
yeah.
I love this whole junk town. Recycled buildings everywhere.
we did
it just
hear-
looks like some really, especially with Blizzard's level to detail
Yeah,
too.
for
Like
sure.
I'm just excited for all the little Easter eggs that are going to
Dude,
be all
totally.
over the map.
Well, and the level of thought that goes into what is behind the map, and also how it plays
Yeah,
into
exactly,
their
how it
attitudes. I
plays.
mean, some of their voice lines from the game, you look at this land, and especially with the short, and you're like, oh, yep.
And even with the chateau, like with the
Yes.
fact that they keep exploring players' backstories and not just going, oh, here's a comic, here's
Right.
a short. It's no, you have to play and you'll find stuff out.
Right.
I love this world. Did anybody play The Secret World?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, I played not too long, probably about like 3 or 4 weeks, but I had a roommate who was really into it,
this
so
a-
he got me to play.
MMO years back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an MMO.
Well, they just recently did a relaunch.
They
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, and it's
That's
like
how I
a
came to know
free to play
it.
thing now.
Okay. Yeah, vaguely, like, it was on my radar, but no, but
It's a really cool world. It's like the setup is that there's these 3 factions that are these secret organizations.
It's secret societies that may or may not exist, but they exist.
Right.
But
So
we
there's-
know them because they exist in media.
Yeah.
like the hand.
Like, we're not going up there. I'm talking
Stop.
Illuminati,
He just shakes his
the
head.
Illuminati,
Stop.
the Templars,
And the assassins.
the other ones that
the
are
other
like
ones. I've got the thing open. I might as well just
dragon something.
look. The
Triads,
dragon.
maybe.
Triads.
Triads.
Essentially triads, but they
Okay.
can't call it the triads.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
it's called dragon.
The Triforce.
And so you
The
create
Try
your own
Guys.
character,
Triforce.
and there's tons of different like power sets and weapons to choose from. But it's one of those like reality fantasy kind of a thing. So like there's guns and people have guns, and there's still zombies and spells. So it's very
Cool.
interesting. It's like a very urban fantasy if you're
Yeah,
into that kind of
totally.
a thing.
If
But
I
the best
wanted
part
a
about
sword,
it,
could I have a sword?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
Depending on
That's-
your alignment, or
Well,
depending
no,
on
you just
your
pick
group?
your weapon, and your
Oh,
weapon
okay.
determines your power set. So you can
Oh, okay.
pick a sword, you
got
can pick
it.
a shield. There's like a blood magic book, and there's shotgun and rifle, and there's like a bunch of different things. But the best part about the game is the story. There's actually really, really good storytelling that goes on, and
Which is
very-
rare in an MMO.
It is, and also very, very unique quests. There's lots of really good puzzle quests
Okay.
where you
Okay.
have to like. It'll tell you something, and you'll have to look on your map to find a place in the city and find a specific painting that corresponds to some line that you read somewhere. Like really complicated stuff, to the point of where I'm like, let's just look it up. Let's just look up the answers.
Right.
And
driven to that point.
luckily, my roommate who's done them before was like, no, and gave me little hints so I could kind of work it out on my own.
Now,
That's good.
who developed it? Is it
I
Nibel?
could not
Going,
tell you.
looking.
All good. Why did you bring it up, Mark?
I brought it up because Johnny Depp's production company, Infinitum Nihil, is going to be producing a television show based on the Secret World.
Great.
We have no idea if they're going to produce the pilot, whether they're going to shop that around, what networks they're going for. I don't know. I think this could be an Amazon or a Netflix or like a digital network. I don't know if
Sure.
this could hit on a major network, just because of how specialized it is. But there's a former CSI New York showrunner, Pam Veazey, is on board as a showrunner.
Oh, God.
So
Thank God.
I hope we're going to be getting just so many puns.
So many.
Well, but that's a successful show. She has run it helped run it to its success.
Sure.
So there's some good stuff happening there.
Yeah, and I think it kind of makes sense too for that environment to do it in a somewhat like law enforcement procedural environment. However they
Yeah,
decide
I
to
can
approach
imagine
it.
somebody start like an MIB sort of a thing where somebody's starting a thing is like, you don't even know this world, and like, whoa, people flying and shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
The only name worse than Secret World was the name of his shitty production company. Like, what was that you could? Like,
Infinitum Nihil.
yeah, that's just real bad. Hopefully he'll
Depp
rebrand
Pictures.
both of them. Yeah, easier to get out.
JD Picks.
Yes, done.
Woke up on the wrong side of the
why.
bed today,
That
Makes
huh?
me
Go.
really uncomfortable.
Seriously. What happened to Patrick's
was-
positivity
No,
party?
that was
Oh, that
last
hate
week. I'm
juice.
ready. I had a rough couple of episodes of some shows.
Well, Stacey, you've got this fancy new PC that you're.
Boy,
gonna
yes,
be,
I do.
Gonna be
so
playing
fancy.
some games on.
So
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Final Fantasy 15 getting a PC port with first-person mode?
No.
I don't like first person, guys.
You
I'll
do?
probably play it. No, I don't.
Gotta look at my boys.
I'm probably gonna do it.
Can you get up and smooch him in first person?
I'm gonna smooch my boys with
Well,
my
now
VR
that you're
headset.
introducing that idea.
Look, the minute the modding community gets a hold of that, first person
boy.
smooching is gonna happen.
It says that it's going to be including
keep an eye out on that.
Yeah.
native 4K
you.
resolution and HDR. An entirely new first-person mode will launch with the game in early 2018.
Look, but all
will.
joking aside, like I don't know if you guys have ever gone through a game again, but I played Grand Theft Auto 5 in third person when it came out on the Xbox 360, and when it launched on the new next gen
In first person?
I played the whole thing start to finish in first person, and it was a drastically different game. It was amazing, and so if they can launch this and it's actually kind of fun to play, like awesome, right? Like who wouldn't want to
Right.
replay
Especially
that?
with some of the action and the teleportation. I wonder how they'll make that work.
There's some challenges there, but like if they can pull that off, that sounds rad.
Yeah. So I'll play it again.
She's so excited. She's
No,
so
I am.
Again.
I
and
have definitely
again.
already played this multiple times. So like through the whole story. I'm not proud.
We got
Play what you love.
we've got
I
El
do.
Tonga watching
I
from
guess.
Argentina.
What
What
up,
up,
what up?
Tonga? Thank you for joining us. Make sure to
Yeah.
follow us on Twitter at InventoryFullPT.
Thanks for joining.
Before we go and before we just talk about the gaming world in general, do you want to talk? Who put Age of Empires on here? Does anybody have
that's
any?
me.
Do
No.
you have any history with Age of Empires?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I'm a big RTS guy.
Yeah?
How
Yeah.
long do you have,
I
Mark?
mean, it's interesting because I feel like the genre has kind of gone away.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if that's entirely true.
But
Halo Wars 2.
I was just gonna say, you heard of a little game?
A little game called Halo Wars 2, which
was
is
a
going to be
bit-
boosted on the Xbox One X.
That's exactly what I was. Two men
I
trampling each other for the same
fell into that trap.
Did you?
Did you get
Already.
the first? Well, that's
The first one.
Did you? Was it like
I
the
love
thing where it
Halo,
was Halo
and I love
RTSs?
RTS, and it was garbage. That game was hot trash.
So you're saying when you bring like lots of good things together and they're in one package, sometimes it doesn't work?
We're not talking about it. We're not talking about
There
it.
you are, back
No,
again.
I was asking
You
about
just can't
Halo.
leave it
You're
alone.
gonna-
Halo and
you're gonna-
RTSs. I'm sorry.
You're gonna awaken.
We're not
Can't leave
talking
it
it.
alone.
We're not talking about it, but on a completely
Don't.
unrelated note.
Yes.
Matt, note, make sure to watch our Defenders after shows on both BHL and AfterBuzz TV.
right.
Yeah, dude.
After you
Yeah.
watch the Defenders, because it's great.
He's on that show.
Yes, Nate
He's
is
on
on our
the show.
AfterBuzz one,
He's our expert.
and there's some good folk on the BHL one
Yes.
too. And good folk on the rest of the folk on the AfterBuzz one. Anyway, so Age of Empires, where does Age of Empires rank for you? Because I mean, if it's a storied franchise.
For me, Age of Mythology was really the one that I really took to.
Okay.
I did enjoy the Age of Empires series, but a lot of the earlier games were a little bit before I was into that complex of computer games. But after, I mean, 3 was a really big one for me, Age of Empires 3. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big Civ guy too, but it's just a different dynamic, a different management style, different, units and different
Yeah.
combat and stuff. And I'm excited to see that they haven't left it behind, that they are planning on making another one.
Yeah.
They released a kind of a cool cinematic that was not really revealing of anything, so I'm
wasn't?
holding my breath to see what it looks like, because again, it could be really bad. I don't know if it's just the climate of gaming that has just changed. It's kind of moved away from RTS, especially with things like League of Legends. But I don't know. I have high hopes, is what I'm gonna say.
Do you put other games down? Like if this sweet RTS comes out, do you drop other things to play it, or just kind of add it to the queue?
Like,
where does it-
how infrequently are you going to be playing PUBG when this comes out?
Right.
Yeah,
Legitimate
I mean,
question.
Yeah.
It depends. It's probably the same thing as it is like for Civ with me, or like with XCOM, where I'll get, because those games, like you play a game, you can play a playthrough
Sure.
and finish it and start another one. So I'll usually start a playthrough, and depending on how sucked in I get, how good it is, if I'm playing Civ, you may not see me online on anything for like a week if I
Okay.
really get into
That's
it.
awesome.
Do you leave the game open?
If I do,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I just wake up and it's just still
It's
just-
right.
just
Looking
one
at
more
you.
turn, just one more
Just,
turn.
yeah.
Gandhi,
Just
you
one
son
more
of a
turn.
bitch.
Oh,
Cultural
don't get me
victory,
started.
my ass.
Don't get me started on Gandhi.
But yeah, I mean, it depends on how good it is too.
Okay.
Because if I'm especially in a good turn-based game, you're having fun when the turns just fly by.
Yeah.
Because there's no, it's not like, all right, once I beat this boss, I'll pause, or once I get to this next
Sure.
zone, I'll pause, or whatever. Like it's just a constant, After this turn, it's going to be the next turn, so I
Yep.
got to plan for that. And I like the planning ahead and the strategy and things like that.
Nice.
Dig it. The last thing we're going to talk about before we talk about some of the releases that are coming out this week, BioShock is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. Can you believe it's been 10 years since
Crazy.
BioShock
No.
1?
No.
Damn it. Still
Yeah.
waiting on that movie.
Yeah.
Gore Verbinski.
That would be so good.
What?
day.
So
What are they doing for the 10-year anniversary?
they're
It's a
re-releasing a special edition of the collection that comes with a Big Daddy statue with the it whirs, it moves, the drill.
alright.
It goes.
I need a little mini Big Daddy.
Yeah, but
Sure.
it essentially is the cover of the first game in figure form.
Sick.
But it's still the same BioShock collection. Are we sad that we're not getting any? Well, as of right now, Ken Levine's like, nah, BioShock's done.
But they said on their earnings call that it is one of the staples of 2K.
Which is
So,
crazy.
we'll
So it's
see.
not going to be Levine, but it's going to be somebody.
Guarantee they're working on something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not Levine.
Something
Which, like,
for
let him go on and do new things, right? Like, let him go create new IPs. For me, that's awesome, and I think they've got kind of, I don't want to say a formula, but they've kind of got a structure for BioShock. We know it's a known quantity. Like, go create the next thing. I think it's cool. So
What do y'all? What the rest of y'all want next for BioShock?
I'll go. Bioshock Infinite is still in my. I know this is not traditional Bioshock, but Bioshock Infinite is like still one of my all-time favorite
Hell yeah.
games.
Hell yeah. No,
So
hell yeah.
I played Bioshock 2. The original Bioshock I didn't play. I was just too scared at the time. I'm just straight.
I'm just leaving.
I'm just gonna be straight with you. I can't do it.
Oh, are you
What do you
saying?
mean
Are you
weird?
saying that something in the story mode was too difficult
No.
to get?
No.
Is
There's
that
no
what you're
turning
saying?
it down.
Because we're not.
There's
We're
no
not
turning it down. There's no turning it down.
No, there's just not playing it. There's not
just quitting.
experience.
I
It's
was
just
scared.
Yeah, there's just being a quitter.
Yes,
just being a big old quitter.
I quit.
I'd
I
rather
did.
not know how to.
I would rather not have
boy.
nightmares.
And please notice how I didn't bring up the report that
I know, story mode.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn has a story mode that's being added to the game.
It's okay,
That
everything
is
I had not to tweet that.
the easiest mode, where it's
Yeah,
essentially,
I know.
hey, if you just want to do the story, we'll make your hits will be a lot stronger, your health will go
Makes
down
you
a
a
lot
god.
more.
Invincible.
Essentially,
I kind of love it. I'm
but
glad
they call it
introduced it.
story mode.
I know.
They don't
Yeah.
call it Weenie Hut Junior mode.
Mass Effect has had it forever. Like people should be experiencing it. Like make it accessible. Play how you want to play. I've always said this. Except Bioshock, you just play normal and not
But you
be a
just play the game.
lame-mo, 'cause,
Bioshock
But
is terrifying.
I'm not ashamed.
Oh, I know,
I'm
it
not
is really-
ashamed.
so
it has some moments.
imagine PUBG.
I just
in
want to
Rapture.
say
Nope.
That's what I want.
I
That's
do
what
not
want.
Everybody's a
want that.
splicer.
Everybody's a splicer.
Oh,
It's just a big splicer war.
Do you want me to never sleep again?
Right?
Because that is the
Just-
formula for
just
that.
Scratching the walls.
You want to hear some more?
Their sprays are all in blood.
You want to hear some more sacrilege? I probably got about like 6 hours into Last of Us before I had to stop playing.
I'm leaving. Jesus Christ.
I was just scared. I just get I just get crippled with fear, and like
okay.
anywhere I
Patrick,
go, they're
Patrick,
around the
Literally
corner.
1 and
Patrick,
2 all
I
time.
couldn't
That
do
means-
the stealth.
That means it
And-
worked.
It's true. It's true. Look, my Mount Rushmore of games is like Last of Us, Bioshock.
It's
You like
Joel,
that?
a
You like
little
that?
sister?
You call this
Yes.
payback. And I'm
It
sure
is,
it's,
yeah.
and
Twist in the knife.
the sad thing is I really feel like I would love that game, and
I do
I
too.
do plan on going back and playing it,
You
but
should.
just I don't know, maybe I was just playing it too late at night too often,
Yep.
but I just literally was like, I can't play this game.
It's
Like I'm too
stressful.
scared to
No,
yeah,
it
no
is
seriously, I'm too
very
scared to move.
Yep,
Like
it is
just for the
stressful.
sound.
Yep.
Like
good sound.
Standing in a corner,
Yeah,
just
no,
huddling
you just
like,
hear
I
it.
can't,
You just
I
hear
can't
it.
go
Good sound.
You
anywhere.
just hear one, you hear a click, and you're like, well, I'm burning my console.
That's it. Oh, no.
Apartment's going with it.
Did you
And
see
that's
the
why, like,
documentary
that's what
about
PUBG
that?
is like.
How they made those noises?
That was one of the weeks that I missed the video game show. Yeah. But Bioshock, happy 10 years.
Yes.
I would, if it's one of those things where I would love to go back and play the game if I had the time. But I've got Infinite on Steam. Maybe I'll just turn it back on for.
But I have the collection.
I've got the full collection
I do
sitting on
too.
Steam, and it's been ripe for replaying. And
I'm gonna plug this
I know.
every week, but Minerva's Den. It's a 5 to 6 hour DLC at the end of 2. It's by
I
the
still
Gone
need
Home
to play
guys.
that.
It's incredible. It's an unbelievable, very self-contained story. It's not too scary.
So in terms, last thing we'll talk about in the stuff that's coming out this week, Escapist 2. Escapist was a huge indie
Yeah,
title.
yeah.
Chroma Gun.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale Series Episode 3, if you're into that sort of thing. Mages of Mistralia, Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
White Day, A Labyrinth Named School.
Yep.
I wonder if that's a JRPG. F1 2017 and Madden NFL 18 are all coming out
games.
this year. If you're big into the sports, Madden is
I don't
one
want
of
to see the story mode.
the story mode.
I
Yeah,
do.
looks pretty good.
Curious about it.
Oh boy.
Evan in the chat says, apparently I need to play Resident Evil Biohazard on a live stream.
Oh, 7?
Oh boy.
I would watch
So
you play
everyone
that.
can watch me
I
scream
would
like a
also
little
I would
girl.
hook
Play
you
that.
up with the VR.
I would do.
to play
No.
this.
That okay.
No.
Oh, I tried to have
have
5
no.
minutes
Phase
of it.
1.
No.
No, I'm with you.
I'll play
Let's start
the
with the
game.
first one.
Yes.
Start
let
with
me,
the first
I have the
one.
VR. I have the
There's no
headset.
I was in the
way.
headset for 5 minutes, and
I'm
I
putting the
lost my
headset on.
shit. I
I'll
was
film
so
it.
scared.
I will cry.
He almost became a Jill sandwich.
Literally cry. Oh man.
That we would have. I would want somebody to be there for emotional support for you.
Yes.
Just as like, why am I doing this?
I could
Why am I
not do
doing
it
this?
alone. I would need someone in the room.
Got to
with
meet the
me,
Baker
so
family firsthand. All right.
No,
Now,
terrifying.
really, the last thing as we outro, let the folks know what you're working on, your social media, and what you're going to be playing this week.
You can find me at Peter the Dees. I'm at Truly Slide, both on PSN and Xbox Live. I am hoping to get a good way through Uncharted this week. I'm excited.
Are you going to finish Hellblade first?
Can't promise it. I don't know how. There's no like progress meter, so I don't know how close I am. But I feel like I've been playing for like 10 hours, so I got to be wrapping up. But there's no indicator of like it's this weird hellscape. So I don't know how close or how not close to the end I am. So I'm gonna chip away at it, but definitely I'm gonna play some Chloe. I'm gonna play some Uncharted. How about you?
Well, first I'm going to say Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles. I'm going to be still playing that Science Lab Simulator probably.
Oh, good luck with
this
that.
week. But
You level up this week. though.
hopefully. No, but I'm going to go back to Wolfenstein. Now I'm probably going to go back to Bioshock.
Just gonna cry over the Mass Effect all set aside.
Oh, yeah. And if they drop Junkertown on PTR anytime soon, I'll be there too.
Yeah, we'll play it as a group.
Cool.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Guys, Nate Miller, you can find me on social media at DogLikeNate. Probably gonna be playing lots of PUBG this week. No reason
Nice.
to lie. Get some Overwatch in. We got to get some more games with Mark in.
Yeah, I mean, I need to get. I need to get
Computer's a
my video
potato,
code.
but we're still gonna do it. We're still gonna, strive for that chicken dinner. 'Cause
Chicken
we believe-
dinner.
Yeah.
I'll tell you even one of the worst things about it after we go off air. But I'm Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/soapboxmark. That's where my wife and I are going to be continuing our Dream Daddy playthrough. If you want to watch that, a couple people seemed interested.
With Teddy Bear?
With Teddy Bear.
Can't wait.
And then
tune in.
also follow our Twitch, Inventory Full PT. We're going to be streaming soon, so we want to make sure that you can see that. Make sure to follow us there and follow us on Twitter at Inventory Full PT. Follow all of us here at The Popcorn Talk on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Inventory Full. Rip Mass Effect. We'll never see it again. Bye!
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.